This slide shows the connections to a Softcon CR391U controller. When you reset the controller, the factory default, this is how you connect to the controller. And yes, it's a 2-door configuration. Firstly, inputs. All inputs have 5-volt pull-up, facilitating the connection of a simple contact to the input. And yes, these inputs are normally opened. You can invert it with a simple setting. So the polarity of any input can be changed. Let's connect the portal exit device. That's the push button to request the door to open, also known as egress. So that is connected to terminal 12, return terminal 11. Note, this could be moved to any terminal by changing some settings. I'm showing you here are the defaults. You could have a portal sensor that's monitoring the door if the door is open or closed. And yes, this is the action complete to us opening the door is opening or it's not opening. This gives you additional monitoring of door open illegal, door open too long, and door not opened. For portal 2, you connect to terminal 14, and for portal 2, the sensor to terminal 15. Note the return lines are all connected to ground, and you could use any ground. It doesn't have to be as shown. And yes, these are simple potential-free contacts coming in, so either way around connection at these devices. The CR391 can have 2 readers connected directly to the PC board. This is Vigand or data clock readers, and they are connected to plugs 3 or 4, identical for reader 1 and 2. And yes, you need to use a screen cable that you earth at the controller to the terminals provided. And if this reader is mounted on a metal base, for example a gooseneck, you must earth that metal base. If there is no earth there, well, then connect the screen to that metal base. Power is supplied to the readers via terminals 31 or 41. These 12-volt supplies are current limited, preventing a short circuit of the 12-volt at the reader, blowing a fuse on the controller. If you do not want a current limit, well then insert link 1 for reader 1, link 2 for reader 2. Each reader can have 3 LEDs. These are driven by open collectors on the PC board via current limiting resistors, protecting the LEDs in the reader. You could have inputs that enable the reader. Typically, the reader must only be enabled when there is a vehicle on a loop. For reader 1, the enabling input is connected to terminal number 19. For reader 2, terminal number 20. Let's look at the outputs. A controller has 4 relays. Each can switch 3 amps. And 2 of them, relay 1, relay 2, are normally open. Relay 3 and 4 are normally closed. You can turn this around by a simple setting, so you can change the polarity. And yes, use 0.5 mm squared cable so that there isn't a voltage drop on this cable leading to potential problems. Here I'm showing you that the relay is just used as a simple switch, switching whatever. If you need to supply power to the relay, to the latch, it's via the relay. Use any of the 12 volts on plug 6. These are via a fuse. So power to the relay, and other side of the relay, the contact goes to the latch. Portal 2, the default is relay 2 is controlled. Again, power in at 58, out at 57. Let's connect a card capture unit to the controller. The default is a capture unit on with reader 2. This is typically used for visitor cards. Visitors get issued cards on entry, and to exit, they must first drop their card in a capture unit. So they badge their card, reader 2, we see it's a capture card. Then we energize relay 4, which opens a slot in the capture unit, and the indicator light is on. And of course, we need to monitor the card is dropped. That is on terminal 18, and when the card is dropped, we will energize latch 2. Let's have a look at what we are switching through our relays. The problem being inductive loads like locks, like latches, like coils. Now, even if we are switching a relay, those inductive loads, when we open the contact, it throws a pulse back at us, sparking our relays, resulting in deterioration of those contacts. The solution is simple. For DC loads, power, we simply stick a diode over that supply as shown here. Yes, the polarity must be correct. If we were switching AC, I'm showing here we're switching AC through relay 2, then we need a capacitor resistor as is indicated. And yes, these diodes, resistors and caps are supplied with the controller. So these are the default settings for the two-door access. If we needed to do one door, in other words, it's read in, read out on either side of the portal, either side of the door, then we are not going to have latch 2, we're not going to have a push button 2, we're not going to have a door sensor 2. It's the same door, same as 1. So in the legacy mode, there can only be 2 doors, so we can only be 2 readers. We need to say it's a 1-door configuration. Then either reader drives latch 1. In universal modes, we can have up to 8 readers, so we need to say which readers are a pair, which go together. In this case, we'd say access 1 and access 2 are together. We could have, as is required by certain kinds of man traps, we might have to drive separate latches. Now that is simply done by then also defining latch 2. So we have a latch 1 and a latch 2. If you only have one latch, well then we don't define latch 2. So there are the default connections for the 2-door configuration and slight modifications for the 1-door. There are numerous options of more doors, more options. They are discussed in other presentations.